Welcome to Guided Soul Reflections with Purnima and Sangeeta, a sacred space where our healing energies come together in conversation about the spiritual journey and awakening. And our hope is that it becomes part of your everyday life. Hi, I'm Sangeeta Diwan. I'm a spiritual mentor, an Akashic record reader, energy healer, and a rapid transformational therapist. I know the pain of grief, heartbreak, and emotional trauma because I have lived it for many, many years. And now I work with people who are suffering and are looking to break free from old patterns and to take back their power. Looking forward to guiding you to heal, transform, and thrive.
Hi, listeners. My name is Purnima. I'm a spiritual mentor, healer, Reiki practitioner in training, and an Akashic records reader and healer. From a childhood of carrying masks, pain, responsibilities to building a career in the corporate world, and to being called inward through illness and awakening, my journey has been about remembering. Today, I guide others on the same path of healing, truth, and coming home to themselves.
Well, I want to ask you, how do you take the insights from awakening and begin to live them? It's not just an idea, but it's the choices that we make on daily basis, in our relationships, the way we speak to others and ourselves every single day. And that's the essence of integration, and this is the stage where the truths we have discovered, we invite them in our bodies, in our habits, a way of living. Like I said, integration doesn't happen overnight. And that's such an important point. It's not a quick fix. It happens over the years. It's a habit that we build. It's a gentle, ongoing process of becoming. Purnima, I want to ask you when you think about integration, what comes for you? What is in you that you feel, okay, that's how I realize that I'm integrating?
Yeah.
So, sure.
So, I think it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I can't remember. I was sitting on the sofa with my husband and we were having this deep, deep, profound conversation about spirituality and the idea of who am I, and then, how we all connected and we souls, and we come on, we reincarnate, etc. And I remember that moment saying to him, I said to him, I said, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited that at this stage in my life, I'm able to explore and learn and think about and question things that I never thought I was able to understand, because in the past I've talked about Priyesh. He's been spiritually aware for, I think, since he was a young child, and for years he would speak to me, and whatever he said to me made no sense. It was just, it was like he was speaking a different language, and I think I've touched on it on maybe previous episodes, and it was just like someone's, like an onslaught in a way, because this person is just talking at you, but I can't respond to it. I can't ask him questions. I didn't even have the words to put a question together because I didn't even know the concept of it. So, and, obviously spirituality is wide, that there's so much that comes with it. Um, and that day when we were having this conversation, I just felt so happy because we could now relate on another level and have these conversations. And for me, the integration stage is, it's almost such a beautiful stage, but also an exciting stage, because all of a sudden I was given permission to know that life isn't this 3D life that I saw, that this little box that I was trying to put myself in, and that society put me in, and my family may have put me in, and then certainly I kept myself in that box. That was completely shattered. And it's when that box shatters and all of those masks and those ideas and everything shatters, the integration stage is now, it's almost like a test in a sense as well. Like, are you now, all the stuff that you've learned, the seeking, the going within, how are you going to embody them truly in your day-to-day life? Because if you don't, if I didn't, uh, I'll easily go back to the patterns that for the last whatever 40 plus years I've been, because that's where I watered those values and those ideas the longest. So it's easy to slip back into that version of myself. So the integration will call. So I'd say just a simple thing, right? I think one of the biggest things was I noticed the shift. One day, my career was something that was, it really gave me joy. It really gave me joy. Um, it wasn't just about a label or, me defining myself, giving myself validation. I actually took real joy in my work. And I've worked in amazing companies. I've learned so much. And I thought that's my life was going to be. I was going to always work in corporate and um, till I retired. And that one day I went to work and something just changed. And it changed. And it was like, oh, I no longer, I don't resonate with this at all. And it was like a switch. And for me, that was like almost the first thing that happened, because my identity, all of it, my joy, everything came from work. And, when listeners and even my friends will hear, or my ex bosses, etc., they'll know, because when I was at work, I was truly at work. And when that switch happened, I was like, okay, there's no going back now, because there's no way I can pretend to be in a workplace any longer, because um, I'm not one of those people that can pretend. So if I'm going to be in work, I want to be there. I'm no longer, now the integration is landed, and I don't fit there anymore. It's, I'm trying to put, the square into a circle, whatever that saying is again. So that was one, that was a clear, understanding. And I had listened to that calling. And that's why I guess, I'm walking that journey now with the redundancy and, in the future setting up, the full business. Then and then it goes into the choices of my habit, like how am I using my time? So where previously I would have done various different things, and obviously I'm not going to go through the list of them now, but just one example, like going out. I loved going out, and not to say that I don't like spending time with my friends, but how I choose to spend time with my friends now is very different. And there's give and take. Like I'm one of those. I loved a glass of champagne. Many of my fun times was with alcohol. So and it's something I have to acknowledge, because it was a big part of my life. And something changed in the last few months, and I just stopped drinking. Like I have no, like I don't know what it was. I maybe realized that, for my energy, blah blah blah. But now when I'm out with my friends, I don't drink. And they've only ever known me and I'm the one that would get the shots, and I love bubbly, and I love the whole act of drinking bubbly. It's just such a, decadent thing. And all of a sudden I'm like, no, I don't want to drink. And even for me to say that out loud is, it's something I'm getting used to. And thankfully, I'm surrounded by beautiful bunch of people that are not judging me on it, are not questioning, they're not putting that pressure, because that would have been something I think that, would have been difficult. Um, and then it's the habits of, now I understand, if my body needs rest, I'm going to rest. I don't feel guilty about it. I don't say those things that we say to ourselves, oh my God, I'm wasting time sleeping, or I'm lazy. How dare I sleep in the middle of the day, or, take some time out for myself. So those choices that are important to me, that feed this version of me, I need to water those now. And I absolutely will do that. The meditations, the self-talk. How am I talking to myself? Obviously I'm transitioning into this a big change in my life. Fear comes up often. So instead of panicking about it, when I heard about my redundancy, I didn't panic. I was like, okay, the universe is literally guiding me. So, what does this feel like? How am I feeling? I talk to myself. I understand. I wrote stuff down. Um, so it's using all those tools, it's integrating it in my daily behavior, so it becomes second nature. And if I fall out of it, again, I'm not judging myself. I observe it and then course correct, if that's, the right word. Uh, Boundaries and relationships become, I think, one of the trickiest things. I know you're nodding because I'm sure you're going to have examples of it, but that's the human, right? That's the most difficult, the most challenging things, and where people have known you for years. Um, it's the hardest thing because all of a sudden, even though they love you and will continue, well, I shouldn't say continue, you may lose some friendships, and maybe even family in some instances. Thankfully, that hasn't happened, and I hope it doesn't. But uh, yeah, I'm showing up differently, and I have had to have, and I know a friend of mine will, she won't mind saying, but I've had to have recently a very difficult conversation with a friend that I was putting off. And I was like, because I was used to being a certain way. And in that certain way, I would suppress my feelings and suppress what I want to say. And then eventually maybe lose my, like say what I want to say, but it would have been too late. Like I could have, when I should have said it, I didn't say it. And I you know, I do things differently. I am different. And obviously, when people don't see it happening and all of a sudden they're exposed to it, it's also difficult for them. So I had to have that conversation with love. And thankfully, it went in a beautiful way. And I feel so relieved because friendships and, family, it is important. Again, we are here doing, we're living in a human experience. So I don't want to be hurting people in the process as well. But I also understand that I will lose friendships along the way as I go further and further into this version of me. I'm not going to relate with people, or they may not relate with me, and I've had to make peace with that. And I don't mean no one will mean me harm, and I don't mean anyone else harm. And I know it's just going to be whatever is meant to happen will happen. But those are the integration is the part where it's the true test of do you want to go down this road, and are you willing to go down that road? And there's going to be some pain with it, like every stage. But when you truly in your authentic self, they'll see the light, and they'll see when they see you shining, they understand. So I think most times people will understand, but there will be challenging conversations to be had. So yeah, so for me, that's integration, and I've experienced all of it, the various elements of it. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And I love, the thing you shared with a friend, and it happens with the people who we are very close to. And you said it rightly that we are changing, and it's difficult for them to handle that change because they have known that version of Purnima for
Mm,
very, very long time,
mm,
and suddenly you show up differently. So sometimes, people don't know how to react or
mm,
what to do or what to say, but it's difficult for us as well. So for me, integration has shown up in terms of having a tough conversations with very, very close people in my life, be it family, be it friend circle, be it my own children. And before that, I would just like, if somebody's being rude, I will just like, "Oh, whatever," kind of thing, ignore. And then, but I realized over time it became more and more and more because I was not standing up. I was not saying what I needed to say authentically. And, we are afraid of losing people. We are afraid of losing very close people. And I had a abandonment wound. So I thought, oh, if I speak my truth, they are going to abandon me, and my value comes from everybody else, how many people I connect to, how many people I love, or how many people love me, kind of thing. And then one day it just switched like that. And I remember a friend was talking to me, and he became suddenly very rude. And I looked back and I was thinking, yeah, I could see the small rudeness was
mm,
coming up, and I was putting up with it. I was
mm,
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was always saying, yeah, maybe he's going through rough time, or
mm,
maybe things are not well. That day, he triggered me so badly. And firstly, I started to cry. I was shocked, the rudeness that came,
mm,
because I think I made him comfortable
mm,
saying, you can talk to me the way you want to be, because I didn't value myself. And in the years of the process, I started to value myself, but I had to then stand up for myself. And
Mm.
I could see it, and I was thinking, oh my God, it's very dear to me and all of that. But that day, something switched in me, and I thought, you know what? I had enough. I really had enough. And first reaction was my crying, you know, and second reaction was, I don't want him to be in my life. I'm done. I am done. And that was me stating that I have healthy boundaries.
Mm.
I can say no. So what triggered that? Something he said and I said no, or
Mm.
certain conversation it was happening. And of course, when people are always hearing yes, 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 or loving and caring and compassion, and I looked away and I thought, you know what? I was being compassionate to other people. I was being horrible to myself,
Mm.
you know? And when I said no, of course, it triggered a huge reaction. And I thought, you know what? That's okay. I'm okay to be without that person in my
Mm.
life. Um, and I had to stand up with a lot of people close to my heart in the most difficult time of my life.
Mm.
After my husband left and I was grieving, all those people who I think would hold my space and support me, one by one, they were falling apart
Mm.
because something within me switched after 15, 16 years of my, awakening journey. And I'm saying, no, actually, that doesn't feel good. And I'm going to be authentic and I'm going to tell them that it doesn't feel good. And so it might happen that they might look at themselves and they might shift or change or apologize. But if it doesn't happen, I have no space. And at that moment, I was like, I am going to be okay to be just on my own.
Mm.
I'm okay. I have never been comfortable being on my own. In that moment, I said, you know what? My husband left. My children are away. They are studying. I'm miles, thousand miles away from my family. They couldn't be there for me in the tough time physically and emotionally in one way. And I'm still here.
Mm.
I'm still surviving. So, what is in me that I want to hang on to those people who don't
Yeah,
respect me or love
absolutely.
me? I really don't need them. And I think that shocked a lot of people because they thought I'll come back.
Mm.
They'll say, oh, this
Mm.
old Sangeeta. And I think I remember having a conversation. I said, you don't even know who I am right now.
Mm.
You're still thinking of me as 15-year-old Sangeeta who you met.
Mm.
I said, she's long gone. She's not coming back.
Yeah.
She's in my heart. I loved her. I hold her. So that's how showing up. For me, relationships always have been huge.
Mm.
And all my lessons have come through
Mm.
people who were very, very close to me, very, very dear to me. And the minute I start to say to myself, Sangeeta, it's okay to walk away. And if they really love you, if they really respect you, then they'll be there.
Mm.
And if they don't, they were not the right people. In next stage
Yeah.
of my life,
Yeah.
I had to do that with my children. I had to do with my family. So a lot of that. But what made me realize certain things, that because I was connecting to my body a lot, and I was feeling those sensations. What happens when somebody steps on your
Mm.
boundaries? And I was really focusing on the sensations in my body. And suddenly I was noticing when somebody's rude or somebody is saying something unreasonable, my body gets really hot.
Mm.
It's that every single cell in my body is saying, you need to stand up
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
you know? And I was not listening to it
Mm.
previously. And when I was not listening to it, I remember my immune system was so
Mm.
weak. I used to get ill every 2, 3 weeks. Every cold, every cough, fever, this and that, I would pick up
Mm.
first.
Mm.
And touch wood. Since I've been listening to my body, taking care of my body, my immune system is becoming stronger and stronger, you know. But that sensation, I now related to it. Okay, my heart starts
Mm.
palpitating,
Anxiety.
palpitation.
Yeah.
I feel heart racing. My body, it's really, really hot. And I think, okay, there is something my body is trying to show me. That is my signal. What's going on?
Yeah.
What has happened? So then sometimes I feel okay in the moment to share what I felt authentically. At times I have this reaction of crying a lot. And then I thought, okay, I need to take a space, process what has happened, cry it out, release, and then I go and have a conversation, when I'm a bit more stable.
Mm.
So this integration has really helped me to really, again, tune in with our
Yeah.
bodies, tune in with Sangeeta, this inner child, the inner Sangeeta who was craving for people's love and attention because she never had it, you know. And then again, that self love journey started to create that beautiful, beautiful state of awareness for me and saying, "Hey, Sangeeta, you're okay. You're never going to be lonely because I'm here. I'm going
Yeah.
to take care of you." And then spiritual journey is all about having our
Mm-hmm.
guides. When I remember I got so excited when first time I learned, like, we have guides. Oh my God. It's like, oh, I got my family kind of thing. Because, all my life I felt that people didn't understand
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
whether you
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
that or
Yeah.
not. Yeah. So it's like, am I the weird one? I just like want very simple things like, be kind to people, be nice. And the thing is, the day I realized, we can call upon our angels, our guides, they're always there, our ancestors. I was like, why am I worried about? I have a huge, huge army, with me behind me. So I think it's just when we get comfortable in our own company,
Mm.
when we don't crave company because of lack, then we actually connect to people who are genuinely there for you.
Mm.
Because as we are shifting, we are changing, our vibration is shifting. So I realized that I was connecting to certain people who, of course, are not in my life now. There was a wound in me,
Mm.
and I was connected to them because of that. And now when I heal that wound, I just find like I have nothing in common,
Mm.
and I'm okay with that. And I never do it from a place of malice. I do it from a place of love and saying, I'm okay to let you go.
Mm.
May you find friends who you can resonate with, and may I find friends who I can resonate with. And it's about, I remember creating that space. When you let go of people,
Yeah.
you create a
You
lot
could
of
create
space
space.
for new
Yeah.
people to come in
Yeah.
who match your vibration
Mm-hmm.
for this
Mm-hmm.
kind of,
Mm-hmm.
stage of my journey. So yeah, it's difficult, but integration, yes, now anything comes up and I say, okay, what is this triggering in me? And again, we talk about healing journeys, never about one. It's like a
Mm.
spiral. You come to that point again and
Mm.
again. And every time the charge is getting lesser and
Mm.
lesser, and you're becoming more aware of it.
Yeah.
So now when something happens, of course, it's life, things are not going to be always smooth. And, spirituality doesn't mean going on that journey, doesn't mean that nothing ever challenging has come your way. But when now it comes a challenge in my way, be it a situation, be it a health, or be it something else, conversation with somebody else, difficult conversation, I just think, okay, Sangeeta, what wound is triggered?
Mm.
Okay, I go back and I give love to that part of me. And I say, hey, you're not 16 years old.
Mm.
You're not 5 years old. You are an adult who can take care of you. So then I embrace that part of me. I give love to that part of me. And then I say, hey, we'll be okay. We'll be all right. So for me, that's how integration looks like. That now I face things in a very different way. And I
Mm.
know why this has come in my life as well. Oh, there's little more integration
Mm.
needed to be
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And I do it from compassion, from love to others and myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, it's when we talk about, it's interesting because you were saying, you throughout your life you felt very different, and it's almost like you were trying to fit in, find your soul tribe in a sense, right? Or find your tribe, and through that, but we're doing it with all of our wounds, so we constantly hitting this brick wall, and y- people will be in different, so that in one sense that's your experience, and your it's a very hard experience because it's all through people, so it's
Yeah.
it's constantly going through all of that range of emotions, and people have the most ability to hurt us, right? Because it's such a personal thing. um with me, what I did with my wounds in a sense is i I've been very blessed to meet amazing, beautiful people my whole entire life, like every stage, and I alluded to it in one of the other episodes. people came to me at the right time to help me guide that
Mhm.
next stage, next stage, next stage. And I did a lot of growth through that. But what I struggled with was, because of those wounds, I I didn't allow myself to receive. So I
Mm.
kept giving. And it wasn't the fault of anyone that I was giving, and
Yeah.
no one asked me to give to the extent that I did. But it's very similar in that sense that I I wanted to control or perfect everything because I didn't want to create conflict. I didn't want to create an environment where someone would get upset, that, someone could get smacked in the middle, or, violence would erupt. So it's just interesting how relationships can, how the level of complexity that we bring into
Sure.
relationships, and and the moment you're able to find that love and that capacity and that peace within yourself, relationships become something so different, because
Mm.
they no longer filling gaps, to your point earlier. It's more, they enhance your life, and you're able to enhance theirs. And yeah, that's such a beautiful it's such a beautiful place to be and get to, right? Because to your point, we never mean, even, there's certain relationships I've probably let go over the years, or, they've just dissipated. um and everyone's a teacher. We're
Absolutely.
learning from everyone. Um so yeah, that, in a way, it's a good way to say thank you to all of those individuals, in whichever form and
Absolutely.
guise they came in, to
Absolutely.
say, thank you and wish you luck, but our time is over now.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why how, certain people were not pleased and they got angry and mad, and how come the relationship changes or friendship changes. And but my guidance was, no, it's time for me to move away, you know. And it's like I have to be authentic. And
Mm,
what I realized, that because of other people, and what the point you made, Purnima, was very valid point. What happens when we are wounded? The worse people behave with us, more love we pour in,
oh yeah, oh yeah,
isn't
oh
it?
yeah.
It's like they show up in a
Mm,
very negative way, and then we think, oh, no, 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 no. Maybe I need to pour more love.
mm,
Maybe I need to show up more for
mm,
them. And they love it.
mm,
They're lapping it all
mm,
up,
mm,
until we realize, we wake up to saying, okay, no, that's a wounded
mm,
behavior.
mm,
We are just trying to hold on to those people who are not maybe good for
mm,
us. Again, no negativity. And a lot of people have questioned me, why this, why not, why don't you talk to him, or why don't you talk to her, or why do you have this? And I said, well, one thing, again, integration was, I don't justify to people now anymore.
mm,
I was like,
mm,
this is what I felt,
mm.
and I'm at peace with
Yeah,
it. Before that, I would just go out and explain this and that. No explanation needed. That person know what they did, and I stood up, and that was not acceptable, and that's okay.
yeah,
Or there were some people who just come and dump on you emotionally, and they are not giving you anything.
yeah.
So we give, but point on you on receiving. Again, when we make space,
Mm,
when we let go of all the pain, the wounded parts, the people, now we create more space for it to come in.
mm.
The energy is clearer, so now we can
Right.
open to
Yeah,
receive.
absolutely. Yeah,
you
open
know
to receive.
there was nothing, no space for us to
Yeah,
receive before
yeah,
anyways,
yeah,
because we were just giving, giving, giving. And now we have decided that we want to receive, and we talk about ask and it's given. And now divine, like, is opening
yeah. Doors,
portals or
everything.
places for
Yeah,
people to come and receive love, which is very beautiful. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And just to finish on that, because I know you're gonna pull us a card. Um, the authenticity. I think it was Nimesh that says this. How you show up in one place is how you show up everywhere, and that really, really sticks with me, because that is, like, sometimes we think, oh, in workplace we need to be different, because yes, you can be different, professional, but you still need to remain true to yourself. And that integration stage will ask you to, like wherever you are, whatever you do, um, you will have that alignment, and you'll see where you're not being authentic. Um, the friction will come up, and you'll feel it in your body. The signs will be there. So, yeah, you almost can't get away with it in a sense. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, it's just the way we do one thing, we do
Mm,
everything similar
mm,
because it's us. We are bringing our
yeah.
energies. Yeah. And I have seen people changing, from, one time they are like this, and another place you'll see they're interacting with different people, and they are totally different
Mm,
people. It's like, who are
yeah.
you?
Yeah.
For me, I
Yeah.
could
Who are
never do
you?
that.
Which version is
Yeah,
yeah,
version is the real one,
yeah.
and I could never do this. Like, this is how I am, even when I showed up at work. And, if I become emotional, I remember having a chat with a friend I met after 2, 3 years, and she said, I was having a chat with her, and she said, I was telling her that I had a cry or something. She said, it won't be you, is it, Sangeeta, if you won't cry? I am like a child. I laugh very easily. I cry very
Crazy.
easily. I am who I
Yeah.
am,
And that
I
is
cannot
enough.
hide.
Oh gosh.
Oh, let's take a beautiful card from the Rose Pocket Oracle we bought together
Yes.
for the collective. And then we'll wait for your activation. Okay, let's have one card for the collective. Oh, the Temple of Rose, Sacred Power, Expression, Scarlet Code. The Temple of Rose, 201 is the number. And it says, for millennia, feminine power expression, the wisdom have been suppressed. As a result, the feminine has been silenced, dismissed, and disrespected. We have become disconnected from the earth, the mother, and have stopped revering our elders. But times are finally changing, and we are all part of this change. Every time we honor our body, express our wisdom, share our voice, and connect with our sensuality, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we call back our power, we heal the sacred thread of feminine. Every time we come together in circle, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we honor our cyclical nature and the cycles of nature, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Regardless of which gender you identify with, if any, this is a card for calling back your power. It's a card of expressing your truth, no matter what it is. It's a card of sharing your soul's voice and singing the song that you came here to sing. This is a card of activation. It's a call to action. And it's remembrance. You're the child of the ancient goddess. And as you express yourself, you express for all who could not. As you reclaim your power, you do so for those who cannot. Each shackle you break through, you free those who are yet to come. Share your voice, sing your song, dance your dance, reclaim your power. This is what we came here for. And the soul inquiry is, how are you being called to call back your power, express your truth, or honor the cyclical nature within?
Wow.
Everything we talked about.
Wow. That's so beautiful. Um, the one the part that resonated for me there is particularly when you are authentic, and usually, and then you're operating from the heart, you give others permission to do that. And for me, that is such a beautiful, beautiful thing, because we all, every single human being has experienced pain, or is experiencing pain of some sort, and we most times are operating from a place of wound. And the more we all start reclaiming our truth, reclaiming our power, we allow more and more people, each of us, one person, we're surrounded by so many people, they go off, one person does a little piece of that, they go off and impact. And it's like a rose, just the whole, all of the little flowers intertwining, and yeah, that's the magic, right? We give people permission to be authentic, the more each of us are. So that's, gosh, that card is absolutely, I always get
Beautiful.
excited.
Like we talked about, isn't
Yeah.
it? We talked about me being authentic in every moment of my life. I'm going to show up the way I want to show up. It doesn't matter how others see
Mm.
me. It's important how I see
Yeah.
myself. And when I do that, I give permission to other people to be
Yeah.
authentic. And for me, it's so powerful. And it is about taking our power back.
Mm. Mm. Absolutely.
Not buying into fear, not buying into taking action from a place of
Mm-hmm.
fear, but taking the action from a place of love.
Yeah.
Loving
Yeah.
ourselves means loving
Yeah.
others.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Beautiful. Thank you. I love that. Okay. So we're going to do a little activation today. I'll just, I'll read you through it. Again, I'll actually put this in the notes, in the episode notes, so you can practice it whenever. But so this is an alignment check-in, right? So, and this can be used at any point. Like if we all have values, we all have, for me, I'll just some of my values are love, community, uh, honesty. Uh, there's those. They're not coming to my mind now, but those are just some of them, right? And the alignment check-in is: does this align with your values? Does it align with your body? And so if I just think, so I'll just walk you through what this is, right? So when you're facing a decision, be it big or small, right? Like it could be a friend's asking you to go for a night out for drinks and, partying or something. That's a small sort of decision. A big decision is, should you continue, um, maybe being with this partner that you've been for your whole life, but you've been unhappy, or it could be, a job that you've been in, or a career that you've been in. So it's taking a pause and asking yourself, does this choice align with my values? Does it honor my body and my energy? Does it honor my soul? And does it reflect my truth, not someone else's expectations, right? Just to the point that you said, it's that taking that power back, because we gave that power away, sometimes to seen, people in our family, our friends, our employees, sometimes unseen, governments, society, all of these things that we don't even know we gave our power away to. Um, so does it reflect your truth? And when you go within, we talk about that in our previous episode about living your truth. Once you understand your truth, it's hard to shake it, because you've understood it. Yes, there'll be movement, because again, we're not pillars of concrete. We are gonna, we'll balance and say yes or no sometimes, or sway a little bit. But on certain things where it's harming us and taking us out of our state of love and truth, we need to, we sort of need to align and do that check in. So, what you can do is how to use this, for your alignment check in is try a 7-day micro practice, do like a 7 days, one decision per day, and then jot your answers in a in your journal, or circle the words that guide you most in your values and take one tiny action to live with that. And then if you forget, just come back. Returning is integration, right? So it's not that I made a wrong decision. I went out with that friend today for a drink and it didn't align with my values. Now I'm a terrible person, so it's fine. You did it. And actually, that experience will tell you that actually I don't get that much joy, or I can still go out with my mates, but I just don't have to drink. That's just an example I'm using. But it's starting to act on it. So talking to yourself and saying, okay, do I want to go on this holiday? Okay, sit with it, blah blah blah. Follow the check in, and then you'll start knowing, and you'll know what's no longer in alignment and what's in alignment. And you can still do something that maybe isn't in alignment, but you're making a conscious choice. You're not being manipulated into it. You're not feeling guilty about it. You're like, no, this is a conscious decision. I will go and show up here because of whatever reason, but it's not something, I know this is not something that I will do often. So it's just, yeah, it's understanding that sometimes, we may have to still do things that we're not 100% loving. Like, for example, going to, sometimes we have to earn we may have to continue with the job for a period of time because we have to pay bills. So yes, it doesn't completely align with us, but when you come home, do something that aligns with your soul. So you're getting that balance. So yeah, that's just a little exercise, but I will share it in the notes section, so you can visualize it and then practice it at home. So I'm just going to close off. Yeah. So on that, for me, the integration stage is truly walking the path. I think that's yeah. Am I just talking the talk, or am I actually going to walk this path? And in that, the more I integrate this version of me, the more people get a sense of who I am. And it's not all of it's different. It's not like one day I was this version and today I'm like completely different. It's just I'm now operating from my highest good and my highest self. So I'm just a bit more centered and more, I don't know, more steady. And yeah. So if you're in the integration stage, learning to embody what you've discovered, you don't have to walk it alone. Sangeeta and I hold one-to-one spaces for mentoring, for healing, for the Akashic guidance to support you in weaving your truth in everyday life.
And you will find all our details in the show notes. As Purnima said, she's going to share this activation there as well. And if something you've heard, it resonated with you, listen to your body, share this episode with someone who might need it. And your story can be the mirror someone else was waiting for. And we'd love to hear from you. Please do share comments. Let us know. We do share our post on Instagram as well. Hope you have followed both of us. Again, that will be in our notes as well. Purnima, for me, I want to ask you what does integration means in one line, but for me, it is again coming back to myself, feeling that ease, feeling that love, and doing it again and again, asking myself, connecting with myself, and doing it from a place of, again, from a place of love, authenticity, and taking my power back and taking care of me so I can take care of others in a better way.
Beautiful, so beautiful. I think I alluded it to just maybe earlier, but for me, it's truly walking the path, being authentic in how I show up, and what I say to one person is what I say to everyone. And it's to not to be hard on myself. It's to learn every day. It's little practices. I think you said it's returning to yourself again and again. It's these little practices each day, making small choices and knowing where and how I honor my truth. So yeah, that's integration for me. So yeah, we're coming to a close now. So integration is how awakening becomes a life, not a moment. And as you step into your day, ask yourself, where am I being invited to embody what I already know today? If this episode spoke to you, Sangeeta mentioned it earlier, please follow the podcast, pass it on to someone who may need it. Reach out to us via our social media handles. Yeah, until next time, be gentle with yourself, and thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you.